common folk style that many belly dancers play with is saiidi. But what is it? And where does it come from? Hi, I'm Kashmir. Here in New Zealand, if a belly dancer knows any folk style, it's likely to be saiidi, and usually with a stick. In this video, I want to explore briefly what saiidi dance is and where it comes from. Where it comes from is pretty straightforward. It comes from saiid, the highlands of Egypt. That is basically south of Giza, which is most of Egypt. So to the north, you have mostly Falahi in the Delta region and also Bedouin. So in the south we have saiid, so we have saiidi dance. So it's a rural folk style. I remember being in a workshop once where another teacher confessed that she had been told that saiidi came from Port Said. Not really. The Egyptian teacher was very confused. He said, but it's spelt completely differently. And then it was our turn to be confused, because in English they're both transliterated the same way. Port Said comes from the word from happy, so that's sin, ein, ya, dal, whereas Said, meaning highland, uses the sad, so it's sad, ein, ya, dal. So strictly speaking, the saiidi for the highlands should be translated with a different S. So you'll see it done with a little S with a dot underneath it, or sometimes it's in bold, or sometimes it's capitalised. I like to capitalise mine, but Port Said in English is also capitalised, so it doesn't help that much. Of course, saiidi dance should be done to saiidi music. Now that's more than the rhythm. A lot of the pop songs these days actually use a saiidi beat, but that doesn't make them saiidi music. But it might be a nice place to actually start for a fusion piece, which could be quite fun. Traditional saiidi music uses traditional instruments, such as the mizmar, and lyrics in theory should be sung with a saiidi accent. Don't ask me, my Egyptian Arabic is not that good. What about the dance itself? What about the moves? Well, people spend years studying saiidi dance, so don't expect to get it all in a very short video. But some of the cliches hold. It tends to be very earthy dance, very down to earth, very grounded. You also see some moves like the little heel bounce, where you actually come up on the balls of your feet and bring your feet down. You'll see Dina do this in her big hip circles, where she actually comes down and she actually bounces on the, that's a little saiidi touch. You also see movements that look like horses' legs. Horses are really important to the saiidi people, so you'll see the little pieces that look like horses. Unlike a lot of other Egyptian styles, saiidi dance also has quite a few jumps and hops, or fake jumps and hops. The style that most belly dancers learn is actually the vigorous men's style. There is a woman's style as well, which is much softer. One thing I can tell you about that is it tends to use a lot of backwards figure eights. Both the men and women's styles use shimmy, hip shimmy and shoulder shimmy. It isn't saiidi dance, it's saiidi dances. There are lots of different variations across time and space, just like any other folk dance. Out in the highlands, a man is not a man without a stick. And they have these 2-metre high staves, which is used for defence. And also they have a little game with it. There's a little, I suppose you could call it training, a little martial arts game. And sometimes you'll actually see this put to music, and it almost looks like a dance. Maybe it, maybe not. In the cities, you'll sometimes see professional male dancers actually performing with sticks. If you do decide to learn to do taib and you decide to perform it, it should be done as a man. This is one of the few dances in Egypt which is sex segregated. So you need to dress as a man, which means a galabaya with the big sleeves on it and a turban. Please don't dress as an Arab. That is really insulting. So you don't wear the kufka and the igal. You actually wear a proper turban, so you wind the turban round. Of course, a 2-metre high stick in the city doesn't go down too well. So what they tend to use instead is a walking stick, a cane, with a little hook on it. Sometimes the women have a little short stick without a hook. So the men would dance. I've seen this in a coffee house once. There was some music playing. There was a man standing there with a stick, a walking cane, and he actually started dancing with it. Not a professional dancer, just a guy in a coffee house. And the professional female dancers picked this up, and they use it a lot for performance. However, not all saiidi dance uses stick, and not all Egyptian stick dance is saiidi. There's an overlap there. Saiidi is folklore. It's folkloric dance. So if you're going to dance it, you should be appropriately dressed. If you're dancing to a very traditional piece, then that will mean a galabaya for both men and women, and head covering. For something a little more modern, a woman might wear a ballady dress, which is a little more glam, but still you're basically covered. It's not something you'd do in a bra and belt. So, have you tried saiidi? Did you like it? Do you enjoy it? Let me know.